All right, Nate, it's a simple story.
That it is.
Nate, you and I jumped into Arise, a simple story, and that's exactly what this game is. A very simple story, but it caught you by surprise.
Oh man, did it ever. Okay, so right off the hop, this game is beautiful.
Yes.
Graphics, I really like the art style they went for. It's kind of like that Pixar kind of feel,
Exactly.
you know? And man, it just struck home with me.
I think the art style gravitates with the story and how it kind of complements each other, and it's so smooth. The art style itself, like you said, is that Pixar feel, and it's just, man, it's beautiful, and that's the kind of games I gravitate to a lot as of late, to be honest. So the story itself, though, is got this touchy-feely sense of this old man, and it's his experience of his life and kind of further on, and kind of the experiences he's had to kind of endure and travel through, and it's from there just kind of a platformy feel of a kind of type game, right?
It's a lot of, you know, happiness, and then there's lots of sadness, and it's just, honestly, by the end of it, you're just, you might cry a little.
It plays on your emotions. That's what it does. It's got this heartstring of emotions that you're constantly intertwined with, and you're pulling back and forth and weaving with. And the way the game controls, I thought, was one of the unique aspects of the game. I really appreciated the fact that you control a simple character, but at the same time, you're also controlling the environment.
It's basically a time transition. You kind of go forward and reverse in time.
Kind of like Prince of Persia.
Yeah, right? I guess so. But the way they do it, the way they build the maps is perfect with this whole time transition. Some of the maps, like one of the maps, you have this kind of earthquake thing. So you kind of, as you're going through the map, see this whole earthquake, you know, blow up, and then kind of from the beginning. You know?
Yeah,
it's really cool.
But you have to play with this whole time sync thing of things falling out of time and falling back into time for you to traverse the world, which is kind of a puzzle-solving element. Puzzles in this game are pretty light.
Yeah, honestly, you don't get stumped too often. There's maybe 2 or 3 where I had to think there for a few minutes, but ultimately, it's meant to just play through and just enjoy the story.
Yeah, it's really cool. So what I would have liked to appreciate more would be the fact that they would have told us that this was a couch co-op game.
Yes.
So I was a little disappointed to be 4 levels deep to find out I can suddenly play this with somebody else, man. I couldn't believe it.
And that's just it. I was the same spot. I was about mission 5 when I realized, I pressed start, and then it says right at the top right, press A for second player. So
it's like,
that was kind of frustrating, but it's cool how they did it. You don't have 2 characters and then one person's controlling the time. It's just first player is controlling the character, second player is controlling the time lapse. So
it's a teamwork kind of feel thing.
And I like it because you do a mission or 2, you kind of switch the controller. You're not feeling forced that you're just clicking left and right on the analog stick the whole time. But still, ultimately, I'm glad it's in there because it's just a nice added feature.
It was a bonus feature that I wasn't expecting. Once I started the game, I thought, okay, this is it. You are the one guy, and then you control the space around you, the environment, and that was kind of it. And then to experience the fact that I can do it with Crystal at the same time, I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So it's kind of that team building aspect of things, which is really nice. But you don't have to do that. You can play the entire game solo, which is really cool. But the entire game is focused on the fact that it is a single-player story in a sense, with no dialogue.
That's the thing that gets me, is that there's not one word spoken in this entire game, but yet
still beautifully told.
Exactly. There's still just so much story within it. It's amazing.
So as much as you love the story, Nate, for me, I kind of thought it hung on a little too long. I got about halfway through the game and kind of thought, this should probably kind of wrap up for what this style and type of game is. For me, I kind of thought, man, I'm kind of getting bored now at this point. I'm doing the same things over and over and over. I'm doing the same leaps, the same jumps. The puzzle mechanics are still the same. So I didn't really experience a lot of new things moving forward within the game. just the fact that the story is being told as you progress through into the next level and the next level.
Yeah, Drew, so I do agree. Some of the missions did feel like they kind of dragged along, mostly in the middle, where some of the puzzles just kind of felt dry.
A little bit, right? There could have been a little bit more to it. Sometimes the level was short, and other times the levels just were a little bit too long. So there's a bit of a pacing issue there.
Yeah, I agree. But another thing too, all in all, the overall jankiness of the game, I'd say there was very little. I only had one mission where it was a snow mission and there's snow flying over the place, and just a few times in it where the frames would drop. But all in all, for me, the rest of the game was perfect.
Where I kind of experienced a little bit more at the beginning of the game, a little bit of jankiness here or there, but overall it didn't really disrupt a lot of the gameplay. It was able still to kind of progress through the story and move ahead. So overall, it was a pretty good experience for myself.
Yeah, man.
All right, Nate, I think honestly, you and I each had our own different, unique experience with the Rise, A Simple Story. What do you score in this one?
Well, man, this one struck home with me. Honestly, by the end of the game, I actually maybe teared a little bit, but I'm not gonna actually say that.
That's
but
awesome.
anyways, so it struck home with me.
Sure.
The graphics, everything, it's gonna get 8.5 from me, man.
I'm a little bit lower. For me, the story just kind of dragged on a little bit too long. I didn't think it was that necessary to keep going with the game. As beautiful as it is, and the story is great, I think I'm there with a 6.5.
Arise, A Simple Story is a beautiful story about a man and his wife and the ups and downs life brings. Feeling maybe a little dry or drawn out at times, ultimately this game is worth playing through solo or with a friend.
Subscribe to never miss a video, and help us by hitting that like button.